MCing, breakdancing, beatboxing, DJing, and graffiti. Okay. Those are the main elements of hip hop.
I'm not a buttons man, you know. I don't even like
Wait,
I don't even like my
question so
fast.
quickly?
I don't even like my Sky remote.
Did you ever want to be a buttons man?
Having an iPhone's jarring.
When I come in here, I see a team of black and brown people.
I wouldn't want to get murked.
You would never let me stand there and take the bird.
How do you identify the best rappers if you don't have the worst rappers?
On the last episode, we looked at soul, funk, and jazz. This time, we're talking all about hip-hop, from its birthplace in the Bronx, New York, thanks to a young immigrant Jamaican DJ, all the way through to its takeover of global popular culture and it dominating the charts in the UK. Afrobeat, hip-hop, lovers rock, jungle, UK garage, grime, Afro swing. With its fusion of Caribbean, African, and American sounds, all served with a UK twist, Britain can claim to be black music's most innovative hub. This is Sounds of Black Britain. On this edition of the series, we'll be looking at how rap gave a voice to the voiceless and grew to become probably the most impactful music genre on earth. I'm delighted to have Chip and Cookie Price here with me to break things down. Okay, so let's head over to America. Let's talk about hip hop.
That means we're starting now, yeah?
Yeah.
Now we're going to start again because you just said that means we're starting now.
No, keep that because it's real.
Wow. So let's head over to America.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about hip hop. And the reason why I want to do this is because I feel that there are a million, trillion documentaries and bits of research that people have done about hip-hop, and people have seen where it started in terms of mixing and Grandmaster Flash and all these different things. But I've never had this conversation with British people. Mm-hmm. And I've never had this conversation with British people who have made careers in quote-unquote hip-hop, UK rap, whatever you want to call it. So I'd love to start with you, my dear Cookie.
Lovely.
Because I want to hear about what hip-hop sounded like for you growing up before you began to build a career within it.
Well, hip-hop was Mecca for us. Hip-hop was our foundation to who we were and what we became. And it was... Initially, obviously, it was a small community in London, yeah? Just something that was bubbling in the UK back in the early 80s. And, you know, clearly we looked to, towards the US because that's where we were consuming music and that's where it was coming from. Our discovery of hip-hop was all those elements. We didn't have radio stations playing the music that we're listening to. Okay. There was nothing on TV. There was nothing on TV that looked like us. So everything was about, when we went on holiday to the US, I would tape music from the radio stations and bring that back. Okay. That was our mixtapes back in the day. But the elements that we saw of hip-hop was, MCing, breakdancing, beatboxing, DJing, and graffiti. Okay. Those are the main elements of hip-hop. I think that's what drew us to the culture in a very strong way, because we grew up listening to stuff that our parents listened to, our parents from the West Indies. So it was your reggae, your soca. Anything that was in the household was what we absorbed. But as we got older and started discovering, what we were into, which in the UK, there was a massive soul and funk scene in the UK. There were artists in the UK. But of course, there was no platforms for anybody because the UK wasn't supporting black British music.
So when you say that
As usual,
nothing has changed.
We had no internet.
So when you say that you were taping American radio sets whilst you were in America, how old were you when you were traveling over there, and why were you going over there? Did you have family there?
Yeah, the first time I went to the US, it was in 1979, and I must have been about 11 or 12, and it was a family trip. So going to the US anyway. In England, we would watch TV programs like Starsky and Hutch, Kojak, and all them kind of things. So when you go to the US, you're looking for that. You're looking for all that glitzy stuff. But before going to the US, I grew up listening to music in the household. That was just a given for any person of colour in this country, I would imagine. Yeah. So they had all their radio stations, right? So I would be taping on cassette tapes. If any, you know what cassette tapes are.
Yeah, come
just
on.
Just check it.
Give us a break, man.
So we'd have cassette tapes, and I would tape these radio stations, right, and take them back to the UK, and you share them amongst your friends. That was going viral, yeah. That was sharing mixtapes. Yeah. So every year, my mission was to go to the US to absorb more hip-hop, to come back with music, to go to the shops, to buy all the clothes that everybody was wearing from the videos that we saw, because we didn't have access to anything in the UK.
So in the UK, what was happening in terms of hip-hop? What was going... You said it wasn't on radio, it's not on TV.
Yeah.
So how are people... and there's no internet.
No internet.
How are people consuming... Is it literally you're the plug that's bringing...
I must be.
Hip-hop? hip hop to London?
No, there was pirate radio stations.
Okay,
Of
right.
course. Kiss was a pirate back in the day.
Right, okay.
There were loads of pirate radio stations
I
around
didn't
London.
know that.
Well, that Kiss was a pirate?
No.
Yeah, Kiss was a pirate. So,
That's dope.
you know, that's what we used to tune into. There was also a hub in the UK that was Covent Garden and Leicester Square. Those places were the key locations for all the hip-hop kids to kind of
Oh,
be.
really?
Yeah.
As in
Swear
outside?
down.
Or
Outside, Covent Garden is the mecca of hip-hop in the UK.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I did not know this, boy. I thought Covent Garden was a place where the man paints himself in silver.
No,
Yeah,
the man that paints
Pretends to be a statue.
And the man that paints himself in silver, he was still a part of. He was there, right? There,
When
was,
it was-
there
oh,
were people
okay.
doing their junk. People were doing stuff. But for us as young black kids, we didn't have. You know, we had youth clubs to go to on Fridays, but. What we discovered back then is that this whole movement of hip hop and the culture, it was a family, right? People from North London, South London, East London, West London, even from, you know, Nottingham, Birmingham, Manchester. We all used to go to different cities to go and check out the clubs and the scene. But somehow, Leicester Square, Covent Garden was a place for all the B-boys and all the MCs. That's where we used to hang. Let me tell you something, London was on fire. And the thing that kind of makes me a bit sad is that we've never connected the dots between what happened in the old school to what's happening with you guys now.
What do you mean by that?
We've never like met.
Had the conversations and stuff.
We've never had this
Okay,
conversation,
cool,
and this is a
cool. I get you.
conversation that I've dreamt of. It's like, wow, the scene has been so. It's been going on since late 70s, early 80s, and there's just been generations of things happening. And of course, the music industry evolves. Talent in the UK evolves. It's been absolutely incredible. But we've never all come together, and it's. I would love to be in a big room with old school and new school people to talk about our experiences, how the industry's evolved, how you guys are kind of like making waves and making money, setting up businesses, doing everything. And the foundation is hip hop.
Why that probably doesn't happen is because I would say, just from my own dealings, there's only like a selected few of us that would say that what we do stems from hip hop.
Yes.
And that probably sounds crazy to you.
No,
so
it doesn't.
But
actually.
they don't say that.
Yeah.
They will more say it stems from dancehall
Jungle.
first.
No,
or,
which is-
you know what I'm
garage,
saying?
yeah.
They don't say hip hop
Yeah.
because
Which
they
is
pre it as
Perfectly correct.
that is not our thing.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though it's like beats, bars, I always tell people, like, if you got a tin of baked beans and a spoon and someone starts spitting, that's hip hop, innit?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But most people, like, that I would consider like oldest to me, they don't say that,
Yeah.
Which is
it's
brilliant.
from hip hop.
Yeah.
They don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Proper.
I think that goes
Yeah.
back to what you're saying about being quintessentially British.
yeah.
Is that it feels more British to say, oh, I'm a
Jungle,
grime artist. I
garage,
came from
grime.
jungle,
Which is
grime,
great.
garage. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
can
They
But
would
to say
they just
that I
won't
came,
say
yeah,
hip
to
hop.
say that
Yeah.
I came from hip hop is
Yeah.
like,
And also because it's part, like, more so now you're starting to see a rise of like, okay, America shows the UK love,
Love,
but
yes.
it wasn't like that before.
absolutely
Yeah.
true.
It was
It was
like-
it was tiny.
What are you lot doing?
Yeah.
You're
We don't understand
England
you.
speaking English,
Yeah,
but you're the
yeah,
outsider.
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Which is
kind of
funny
changed
because
now.
that's a big theme in hip hop is that hip hop felt like, from what I understood when I'm doing my research and watching old videos, it felt like a genre that was born from being an outsider.
Yeah,
So
pretty much
it's-
misfits.
Yeah, so it's interesting that was then that was the what's the word, like, that was what was passed on to grime artists, was from hip hop, was you guys are outsiders, and it was like, oh, but so are you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're doing what you did in England.
Yeah.
So I can understand why there was that level of friction. But I think what's interesting about what you're saying, Cookie, is there was no correlation between UK grime artists or UK rap artists and US hip hop artists. But there could have been space for there to be a connection with UK hip hop
Yeah,
artists.
yeah.
So like, I wonder why there wasn't a connection between the grime artists and the Roots Maneuvers of the world.
Yeah.
Because I do think that there was a lot of a closer connection there.
in terms of the sound.
Like, you're not, grime artists are not going to be like, yeah, man, I'm inspired by Jay-Z, fair. But Roots Maneuver came up
I think
But I think it's the thing of when people are from where you're from, sometimes people find it harder to
Yes.
be human.
A credit,
Yeah,
be
like
human. A credit,
I say be human, but I
Yes.
mean like give credit,
Yes,
pay respect,
yeah.
pay homage.
Yes.
Like I see it all the time. Like, and the older lot to like me, that's why I get on, because I'm someone that has always just paid homage.
Yes.
Like no matter what.
100%. Hip-hop folklore says the music originally started in August 1973, when a young man known as DJ Kool Herc and his sister, Cindy Campbell, hosted a back-to-school party in the recreation room of an apartment block in New York's Bronx district. Herc was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and emigrated to America as a preteen with his family. He'd experienced two things in his homeland that would prove to be instrumental to the genre he helped found: sound system culture and toasting, where MCs would speak and rhyme over instrumentals to entertain the crowd. As Kool Herc developed his DJ style to focus on the break, short snippets of songs, often funk tracks, featuring heavy percussion, looped between two separate turntables, and extended for partygoers to get down to, a new genre was born.
May I ask you?
Of course you can.
I see how like passionately you say like everything comes from hip hop. Do you, like personally, you believe that hip hop came before like reggae and dancehall?
It was there because the person who started
When you
hip-hop-
say there, I mean like, do you believe it was before? Not was it there? Like, do you believe it was before? Because you see how you said everything.
I reckon
if this is
that-
hip hop,
Yeah.
then everything comes from that. Where did hip hop come from?
I reckon it was neck and neck because DJ Kool Herc, he was the first hip hop DJ in the US, and he was a Jamaican man.
And you think there wasn't reggae and dancehall before Kool Herc?
Of course there was, because I was listening to reggae and dancehall before I discovered hip hop.
So does everything come from hip hop, or does everything come from?
You know why I say that? Because I'm just a crazy
hip hop head.
Oh yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. Like
I just had to ask you, like, do you
It's
think that,
it's
like-
nothing like, oh, this is the gospel. It's like,
Okay, cool.
when
That's how
people
you
speak-
feel. Yeah. Alright, cool. I'm with you now.
I'm that
I'm with
nutter.
you.
I will say to you, this cup and the tea in there.
It's from hip hop. Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to know
No, that's how
where we
messed
was
up I
at.
am.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how I see it. And I just think we're all doing amazing things.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
care what genre it is. We're all doing amazing things, and this country has changed. Now we don't
Proper.
need to look to the US. Yeah, Of course we have. Artists should always look outside of the UK if you want to grow your career and your business. But back in the day, it was a struggle. And if you got through, we were very lucky. If you signed to a major label, so we were lucky because we're able to record in the US, record with people that we loved, and just be immersed in an industry and just a culture and a vibe from where it came from, and bringing it back to the UK. We always, when we come back, we came back to London. We were so patriotic about London. It's
Yeah.
like, we're London girls.
Describe the picture. What's everybody wearing?
What they're wearing.
What was the fashion? What
the
was
fashion was, back in the day, it was like the goose jackets with the fur, the Lee jeans with the name belts,
Yeah.
the name chains, and the Kango hats, and the gazelle glasses,
Yeah.
the shell toe Adidas, and
Yeah.
Pumas.
What's that like? What year is Turbo and Ozone? The dancers.
What, those in the film?
Yeah, the film Breakdance.
sure.
What is
That
that?
was late 80s. Yeah, that was late 80s.
That's where
Yeah, so
my
all that-
brain goes to for
When you think about
what they
fashion.
look
Yeah,
like
they
in
were
that
kind
time,
of they're kind of out there. Their style was out there. I think the UK were more conservative, and for us as women, we were very conservative because we just wanted to, wherever we went, we wanted people to see us as we were, as women and decent women, and we just weren't into flex because it just wasn't us.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we were dressing like the guys.
Yeah.
You know, we would find the lead trousers. We would put on the shell toes. So when we walked into a club, it's like, oh, the cookies are here. And they'll respect us in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, but and it was a small scene. It was very small.
You spoke about DJ Herc. Now, even with Chip sitting here, there are so many different artists who feel, I think artists have always sat at the front of our UK rap, hip hop, grime scene. We've definitely held up our producers. I don't think we ever forget who makes the production of the music, but artists have been a really big thing, especially from the grime days. Back then, though, can you talk to what it was like as a DJ? Because I feel like that was a big part, like the DJ Hercs of the world. They were the stars of hip hop.
Yes, the DJ.
So tell us about some of the DJs, maybe not in England, but in the US that you saw and thought that's something that's impressive. And why did you not pick DJing over rapping?
Ooh, boy. When I think about DJing now, I regret not learning to DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but DJing on the turntables. Because as time went on again, it was DJing on the CDJs, and there's still time for me to learn. I mean, obviously, DJs were always the superstars because they're the ones that created the music, right? And I'm not talking about studio music. It is the art of cutting up records, like using instrumentals. Sometimes it was the DJ, like on record sleeves, the DJ was the main artist, and it was was the main performer, and the artist who was performing was a feature.
Right.
So they played a massive part. If you didn't have a good DJ on the road, there wasn't much you can do. But it was always important to have a DJ. And in the UK, we had a couple of the best DJs, which is DJ Business. He's still doing his thing. One of our DJs, DJ Dazzle, who's passed away a few years ago. But we always, us as a team, we placed a big importance as who was, even though they were behind you, as far as we're concerned, they was in front of you.
Right.
And in the US, it was the same with their DJs. We'd look up to their DJs, like DJ Red Alert. Absolutely dope. There's just so many out there, and we pay homage to them all the time.
Yeah.
We see them as artists.
Yeah.
You know, and even now, DJs in this country are superstars, right? Sometimes producers are superstars, you know, but it's a mixture of everything.
When we speak about hip hop and grime not having that really tight connection, it's interesting because DJs and producers are massive on pirate radio and grime days.
Yeah.
Like those sets would have been nothing without those elements.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's harder to be a DJ. I think personally, but someone would hear me and say, "Nah, man, you're getting mad. It's harder to rap." But I just think anything that involves where technology will keep adapting takes like a different set of skills. If I was a rapper, I could have been 100 years ago or tomorrow.
And
if you got a tin of
pen and
baked
paper,
beans and a spoon, all I need is my mouth.
Yeah,
Like if you're a DJ, you're going from tapes to turntables to CDs to this. Like it's constantly changing.
That's real.
And I think sometimes the change can create less chance for every DJ to become a superstar.
Yes.
Whereas rap
100.
don't really change. So probably why you get more rappers than DJs. I might be wrong, but it's just what I was thinking.
It's a good analogy.
Is there any reason why you didn't get into the production side?
I'm not a buttons man, you know. I don't even like
Wait,
I don't
how
even
did you
like
answer
my
the question so
fast.
quickly?
I don't even like my Sky remote.
Did you ever want to be a buttons man?
Having an iPhone's jarring. Like I'm just not on it. You know, I made a beat once with Wiley actually.
How did it
once
go?
when I was 14. It was hard, innit? Like I'm a music man. Don't get me wrong. If I was a DJ, I'd be hard. I always say like even when I come Skeps and that, and then we start sound clashing in the kitchen. I know all the songs. I can go back good 30, 40 years beyond me. But if you pass me anything with buttons, I'm just not on it, man. But it's so funny. The other day when we left, when we was in Ibiza, and then finished the DJ set, man saying, "Boy, you know, I might have to get some decks, dog." God, yo, fam.
You enjoyed it?
DJ thing, you know, yo, little pension thing, let's go. You get me? Put down the rap and just
A buttons man.
yeah. And then Skep was asking me like, "What about JC? JC can do the mixing and that. You just select the tunes." I'm like, you know, if I be honest with me, that's probably why I went so hard at like perfecting. For me, like the craft of bars, like being able to spit on absolutely anything was like me compensating for not being one of the people that I always give the respect to, like the people that can DJ, produce and MC and possibly mix their own song and record themselves. Like for me, they're my goats, like real greatest of all time. Like
100%.
that's for me, that's them, innit? But how I compensated was, okay, cool, but I can MC on anything.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Just how much better can I get better at just MCing? If I'm not gonna do nothing else, like I'm choosing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I need the best engineer. I need the best producers. I need the best DJs. All at like my beckoning call. You get me? But me, just the mic thing, card, the buttons things.
I know
man.
I'm
I
getting him
guess.
for his 32nd birthday now. His bare remote
Some
controls.
buttons.
I'm just
Anything
going to
with buttons,
Google
like,
ones that
what
light
are
up.
anything with buttons.
I'm going to just send best stuff from Amazon to your house.
Oh my gosh, buttons.
One of the things I would love to talk about, because it's something that all black music genres will go through at some point without fail, is the resistance from authority and is also the rejection of success within that area, within that genre, by mainstream media. So, and I'd love to hear from both of you on that. Cookie, did you see or experience as a hip hop artist in the UK, what was that experience like for you? And then Chip, I also want to hear from you, however many years later, how you experienced that as
The
well.
rejection from the establishment was horrible. You know, we had resistance from certain radio stations, certain DJs, when our records were getting on the playlists, which was, you know, like the Radio 1 playlist, and it had to be played during a certain period in the day by certain DJs. There were certain DJs that would vocalise. You know, I'm not a fan of blah, 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 because we worked with like Edwin Starr and Roy Ayers, and we worked with these people.
Who are they?
They're soul artists. Edwin
Sorry,
Starr from
yeah.
Motown
Oh, okay, cool,
and,
got you.
and Roy Ayers. So we worked with big stars. They co-signed us and we worked with them. We didn't just sample their music, put it out, and next minute you hear Cookie Crew's getting sued. We done the right thing, right? But on the outside, the establishment didn't really see that we were collaborating. So when our music was being played, they would make little remarks and comments like, oh, well, such and such, I'm not a fan of Cuckoo, but because the record was whatever, top 10 or top 5, whatever, it had to be played. Sometimes we'd go to do road shows and performances, and you could see the DJ was reluctant or wasn't really welcoming of us performing on this stage where it had loads of different pop artists on.
Just for people that maybe aren't familiar with your music, did you guys have swearing in your music?
No, you know what? We come from that generation where I don't think we knew how to use bad words.
I say that because I want people to know that right now, the argument is people are rapping about crime in music.
Yeah. We were rapping about political stuff.
Right. So I want people to understand that, it's whether it's a young boy who's rapping about crime or it's young women who are rapping about, rights and political this and whatever, or just making music, there's always some kind of resistance to that.
Always a resistance.
From people.
Always a resistance. No matter where we went, there wasn't a big support for black music in general.
Chip, when was the first time within your music career that you started to realise that people were against your music or your content or whatever it was because of what you look like, where you're from and what you were saying?
I always had the approach with anything, but like before music, like my dad made me understand that I'm a black boy in England. Like, so before I was just never looking for the odds to be on my side anyway.
Yeah.
So no matter what I stepped into, I always had that approach. But the first time, I would say like a wave of experiencing resilience and like breaking a boundary down and doing it at a time where it's like when we look back at that time, say like the first wave of not just one black boy being on playlist radio, but like a wave of us like breaking that door down was actually a door to break down. Like you was trying new sounds for a reason. It's almost like revising for an exam and then getting the grades you want. But then once one of us do it, 2 of us do it, 3 of us do it, 4 of us do it, now that door's open. And also getting record deals. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's like through each era, from like when I remember wanting to spit, like if I listen to garage, like pirate radio, is like not all of them got a deal. Like cool, so there was Just So Solid. And then there was Just Dizzy. And then like there was like Kano after. And then like my wave, there was like the Me's, the Tinchies, the Tinies, big up N-Dubs as well. But like just a rise of people from ethnic minorities taking over legal radio. Getting through that was quite like you could feel the resilience, but we knew what we was doing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Even like signing deals, it's like you felt like Robin Hood. It was like, cool, like I'm gonna go in this building.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna check how it works.
Yeah. I'll come back with intel.
I'm gonna be back.
That's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Like
amazing.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah,
Do you get what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because like man was in the charts before man signed the deal. So I understood that there was 2 options here. Then you start entering worlds and you start understanding like what's really going on. Then you start seeing there's more barriers. Do you get what I'm saying? And then also festivals. Because at the time, like, I always tell people, like, I didn't know what certain radio stations were until I had to get on them. Like, I'm black, I'm from Haringey. All man knows is Jenny Francis and Choice and Pirate. Done. Do you get what I'm saying?
When radio was good.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So, festivals was also one, because at the time, it was like, when man's playing, like, the other stage, Glastonbury, or main stage, Wireless, I ain't ever heard of these things, but I know that I have a responsibility. So it's like whoever the black artist is, that's why when we're up there, we want live band. We're taking it serious. Man ain't going up there and just singing over the DJ playing the track. Like we're representing. If I flop, none of you are getting booked next year. Like all of us had like a bigger weight on our shoulders to like go in there. And it's like, do they want us there? No, of course they want some rock band or something. But if we get up there and we do it properly, like full set, live band, you know what I'm saying? It's like, cool, you didn't want us, but look
what we can do.
Do you get what I'm saying?
They could not ignore what was going on.
And that's what happens. And I think through every like emerging sound and like sound changes, it will give you like 4 or 5 stars. And the same barriers will be broken, but with different like faces. So like now, I'm not gonna say radio is not important, because I do understand that there's like a demographic of people that only consume music through when they get in their car to work and when they go home, for instance. But the new generation, they don't have to think about radio. They have an iPhone. They can go studio, direct to the people. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if everything that happened before them played a part in that, or if just technology moved on and that's how it is now. But I'm sure they're probably facing their own versions of what doors to break. Do you know what I'm saying? The label one, I don't think that's still a thing as such, but the radio one I think is kind of, that's not something that's
not a thing anymore.
I don't think it's a thing anymore.
And in my days, it's like, it's all about radio.
Yeah,
you want to see this. You want to
Bro, they used to cry every Wednesday, like, we got the meeting. I'm not even going to start naming people like, oh my God, they used to do my head in with this, bro. I'm like, you lot really take my tune like it's an audition and go and sit down in front of people and play my song. I used to do my head. I'm telling you,
so disheartening.
It never disheartened me because I'm just a confident guy and I'm hard. I can't believe that you are here at this building employed to take my song to go and sit down in front of a man and press play that knows nothing about where I'm coming from or this type of music or anything.
It's a mad concept.
Like it's some type of audition. Like you get what I'm saying? I used to think, you lot do your thing in it, because I know it's gonna go anyway. But
the world's changed. Isn't
mad,
it? The world has changed, and
crazy.
it's great now that people, they access music everywhere and anywhere. It's like if you make something today, you can have it live tomorrow. In my time, it's like, okay, it's ready. It's like have a 6-week build up and all that stuff.
You say your time. I went through that as well. What?
Oh my
6
God.
weeks?
People use the terms interchangeably, rap with hip hop, whereas hip hop is the bigger culture. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live.
From its humble beginnings amongst poor Black and Latino communities in the impoverished South Bronx, rap music has grown to become probably the most dominant global cultural force. And its influence has directly and indirectly influenced the growth of new sounds, be it jungle and grime in the UK, Miami bass and Brazilian bi-funk, or the slam poetry scene. So let's look at how rap has influenced the world and how the UK finally found its own voice and blew up. One of the things I've been very, very interested in, especially when I see the results of it, is people who start in genres of music like hip-hop, like grime, that start as the quote-unquote outsiders, right? You start from I'm over here in my niche world where nobody really cares and I've got this core audience of people. And then you put in loads of work, you work really hard, the stars align, and now you are a global cultural leader. I'm always interested in what that feels like, and I think you two are perfectly placed to talk about this, because sometimes being an outsider becomes your drive. It's your motivation, right?
Yeah.
You feel like no one wants to listen to me, and so I've got to fight really hard to get people to listen. But now they're all listening.
Yeah.
Now everybody likes you, now everybody thinks you're great.
What next?
What is your motivation at that point, and how do you continue to be a driven, have things to say and really make a change in what you're doing continuously when the world now loves you?
What happens is British bulldog culture, where everyone loves you and then it feels different. And now you're in a situation where you have to tap into what got you on in the first place.
Okay.
I don't think there's one artist from Britain that has just been loved the whole time.
Okay.
That's what I think happens, because it's like, even when you say like grime's like outside the culture, it's like whenever something's like a niche or like a sub-genre, like people look at it like crabs in a bucket. Do you get what I'm saying? So someone on the outside is looking like you're the outsiders, but inside the outside, there's separate outsiders. So I always felt like an outsider anyway, because it was like the subject matter or the way people presented themselves as grime MCs, I was on the opposite. Like, I wanted to be fly.
Yes.
I wanted girls to like my stuff.
Yes.
I wanted to say, yeah, I like school. The only person that kind of reminded me of like what I was on a bit was JME. He's just like someone that just wasn't afraid to just be themselves. It's not like because I do grime now I have to rap about 10 people that got stabbed or whatever.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or crack someone's skull or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just on my own one. So I already had that type of, I'm not really like you guys anyway, but if I have to show it, like we're gonna get down.
Do you ever stop feeling like an outsider though? Even when you are at the very, very top of the mountain?
I will say, me, like, think of everything I've done, only more so of now, do I genuinely feel like I have nothing to prove.
Right.
I have everything to do, but nothing to
prove. Right.
Like, if you name it, it's on YouTube. Like whatever type of song, whatever type of bar, brother, go there. It's all there.
It's also, it's also on Spotify, because if you watch it on YouTube, he's not going to get paid as much as
Hey, my guy. But that's what I'm saying. But it's like the history's there. But like I said, for a long period of time, I don't know, maybe because I felt you loved me and then you didn't so love me. And now you love me again. I watch this. It almost gets, it's like a drug. It's like addictive.
Yes.
It's like a feeling of knowing I can change your opinion about me. That's nang. Then you can start getting addicted. Sometimes you can get carried away. Do you get what I'm saying? But
That's
for me,
interesting to hear.
that's how it kind of hits me along the ways.
Thank you for that.
You go up, you go down, you go up, but you
find the
know
middle.
in yourself.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? But at this point today, I don't feel like
That's a
I
brilliant
have
place to be
anything
in.
to
Isn't
prove.
that
Like,
amazing? It's nice hearing how you have to adapt and that whole thing of, the outsiders judging you. 1 minute you're up there, down there. It's like, if you're grounded, you know where you are.
But they're gonna say that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's
It's just-
where are you at?
Yeah, that's just how the industry is, or the outsiders are. It's like they also like to see success fail, which is fine.
Literally.
It's just human nature. So you have to adapt, and again, for us, we come from a different era, and I love the accolades are absolutely remarkable.
Thanks, man.
Can you just touch me here?
yes, 100%.
The accolades are amazing. It's just, this is what I like about what's going on now, is that the accolades, you're talking about going platinum, you're talking about, it's just incredible,
Yeah, so blasé as well. Like it's normal, but it's not actually normal. Like
It's not normal.
I just
It's
don't
not normal,
feel
but
like
it should be normal. That should be normal. Those accolades should be just there. They should be given, and you've worked for it. What I like now is that artists are creating businesses and proper business with revenues coming in. Look at what the UK's doing. There's no excuse, and it cannot be ignored. And when I go into spaces and I go to events and I see all these pockets of smart black people, like, in business, in control.
What is it that happens now? And I don't want you to just say the internet, because I feel like there's more to that. But you've got artists who have, like you said, it's not, we sell a bit of merch. There's artists that have their own separate businesses that exist, and they are working in multiple areas of media, entertainment, or sometimes nothing to do with that. Why do you think that we didn't see the earlier artists in Britain in hip hop make businesses?
There wasn't much of us around, right? We were there.
Right.
There's nobody that looked like us to work with us.
Right.
And that was the problem. So even in terms of marketing, when you go and have a marketing meeting and they're presenting you with this, that and the other, it's like, no, but we want to do this and that. And we'd all get our own way because we're very, very kind of like hardcore in how we wanted to present ourselves.
Yeah.
But there was nothing that looked like us.
Right.
Promoters, radio stations, there was a handful of, either, DJs at clubs or DJs on a radio station, but it wasn't what it is now. With you sitting in certain spaces, look at everyone sitting in their spaces.
Yeah.
So when I come in here, I see a team of black and brown people. That's now the norm to me.
I guess at the time there was so much to fight for. Even thinking about
So
starting a
much.
business was so far down the line. 'cause you're
And
still trying to
numbers,
just get on
like
the
you
radio.
guys could walk in there with numbers, you know what I mean? With if it weren't you, it was another group. So it was strength in numbers. Even though we had numbers, they were small in comparison, and we weren't strong enough or had enough industry savvy to walk in and bust down the door and say, we want it like this.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like that. It was a different time and a different space.
Yeah. One of the things I'm really happy about with this specific episode is that we have a woman in the room who was a part of and is a part of hip hop in the UK, which I feel, well, one, thank you so much to the team putting it together, because I think it's important to have voices that are representing all the different types of people that were within the music. But two, I would like to hear from both of you about how often you saw women in your places of work. And by places of work, I mean whether it's a show, studio, whatever it is. Are you a one of one? Were Cookie Crew a one of one? Or was that something that you would see
Back then,
and then obviously Chip now as well? Is that something that you guys have seen?
I mean, back then, yeah, we were one in terms of walking to a business or your label and seeing
Women who make hip hop.
on our label, it was us, and it was our label mates were like Salt and Pepper in the US. In the UK, there was a bunch of hip hop artists around. There was She Rockers, We Papa Girl rappers were around. Who else was there? There was. I mean, again, it's minimal compared to what's happening now. I mean, it is. What's happening now is like, I'm like, wow, and I love it. But that wasn't there at the time, so we were bickering, innit? It's like, who's the best? But it was normal.
Man,
But
it's
that
still-
is
it's
hip hop
still
in a
like
way, innit? It's
that,
like,
like,
who's the best? Yeah.
But now the girls are killing it.
Yeah. What about you, Chip? Would you ever have clashed a woman MC?
Yeah, why not? The reason why my automatic reaction goes, yeah, because it weren't a clash, yeah. But if I was an MC on that song with Miss Dynamite, when
Which one?
Envy remix.
Oh, Envy. Yeah.
Between us spitters, we know, yeah, even if we're friends, if there's 5 of us on the tune, we're
Yeah.
clashing, innit?
Yeah.
Like, it's just who
Yeah.
murked the tune.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get murked.
You would never let Miss Dynamite take the verse.
I wouldn't let her do me like that, bro. So I'm not gonna pretend, innit?
Yeah.
I'm making sure my verse is as good or up to par with Miss Dynamite's one. If that Miss Dynamite comes for you, what are you gonna do?
Well, no, I'm not the MC. What are you
All
gonna
right,
do?
cool, but that's what I'm
if
saying.
you walk into Jammer's basement and Envy Miss Dynamite is in there and she sprays the maddest
And
verse,
she sprays me.
are you spraying the verse back?
I'm spraying because I'm living, walking proof of what can happen if people spray for you and you don't spray back.
Yeah.
That's me. When everyone was on me and Chip didn't say nothing, what do you not say?
Yeah.
Boy, my man's done, innit?
Yeah.
That
You have to spray back.
could have been male or female, innit?
Yeah.
Spray back, Shah, man. You get me? You're getting sprayed, spray back. This is what
That's
this thing
brilliant.
is built of.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Good. You stepped into the ring. so
Come
it's
on,
like-
man.
I love that.
I'm not discriminating.
I love that. I know there are women who are artists that have experienced from other artists that are men crazy injustice and prejudice. I know that's a fact. But I've seen in this scene specifically that I have always been privy to women being welcomed into the space, no matter where that space is.
That's good to know.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying
good
it
to
doesn't exist, but that's what I've seen. And it's just interesting that Chip's saying now about doesn't matter who, when, where, what, that I'm gonna spray. But that is your character, to be fair.
In that mode.
In that, yeah.
you
That
get what I'm
is
saying,
100%
like-
your character. But that is such. It proves that there's such a love for lyricism and for the art of rapping.
For all of us,
Yeah.
male,
Yeah.
female,
Good. And
cat,
that's how it
dog.
should be.
And that's how it should be.
That's
Yeah,
how it should be.
And
if
I
a
wish
female
that
can
continued
put
all the way
herself
through.
in that position, in that, how do you feel being women in a male-dominated thing? It's like, journalists, can you start asking me that question?
Do you get that question as well?
That's all they used to ask us.
They
I said,
always
start
call me
I
in
said, start
March on
asking.
Women's History Month to ask me the same question every year.
In a male-dominated, so stop asking the question.
I'm gonna just completely stay out of this one
Chip,
because
it's
I'm
so
not on
frustrating.
It, bro.
Honestly,
it's annoying.
It's the most frustrating question in
and
the world.
it's a boring question.
Exactly,
you
because
know.
there's no. Who cares? What's the answer?
You see, like primary school,
Yeah.
sports day and that, like
Yeah.
they never separated. Well, in my primary
yeah,
school,
when did they-
they
yeah.
didn't separate the boys and the girls on
Yeah.
sports day. And I remember one time I had a bad ankle, year 6, and I got beat in a race by a girl called Norton. And I was just upset as if anyone beat me. She could dust her. Do you get what I'm saying? And then later on in life, as I got older, and I started to realize when, do you know what I mean? Like I have women on my team, my manager's female, and when they say that there is a difference in how women are treated, I just hear them.
Yeah.
But it takes me back to when does the separation
Yeah,
start?
exactly.
Because I don't always remember it.
Yeah.
Like I remember like going taekwondo and my sensei, Clive, his daughter, no one wanted a kick in the face from her, Charlene. No one, like,
Yeah, Charlene.
no one wanted a kick in
From
their
Charlene.
face from Charlene. Like, Charlene could kick the ceiling. Now,
Wow.
her thing was, oh my
Yeah.
day, if she kicks you, you know what's going on. It's when she kicks that pad, male, female, cat, dog. You don't want a kick from Charlene.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
That needs to
saying?
be a lyric,
So
you know?
I'm thinking when I don't know. Now I don't know, probably just more conscious because I'm getting older. Like I'm trying to identify
Yeah.
when
At what
the
point?
separation
Yeah.
happens
Yeah.
and also why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever the subject, I just go to Miss Dynamite.
Yeah, she's
I just go to, and I don't just go to Miss Dynamite. I go to that verse on that song with Be a Man. Yeah? And it makes me say, just for anyone, male or female, if you just be Nang, they have to say you're Nang. There's no way around it. And there's others that I can name as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Women that inspire me, women that are cold, women that are dope. And they're not just, they're not dope women. They're dope because they spin you male,
Crazy.
female, cat
Yeah,
or
yeah,
dog.
yeah,
And that's what everyone should just aspire to be.
I just want to hear your thoughts on the differences between a young person growing up on hip hop from the 80s in the UK and a young person growing up from hip hop now. And when I say hip hop, I mean everything that falls underneath that.
That's why I
What
see.
would you say? What would you say those differences are for you guys? Off the top of your head.
First, if I had to summarize, and I hate summarizing because it sounds like you're making everyone one person, but I would say as technology goes up, craftsmanship goes down.
Ooh, hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Over and out.
Sorry, little one.
Double wood.
Wow.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? For the art form, the essence of what this thing is built from, the better the iPhone gets, the less people are going to be able to rhyme when you just start beatboxing or when you just start making a beat on the table. The better the iPhone gets. That's what I think. And that for me, without sounding like the old guy, is craftsman. It's not a problem because
it is a problem.
Shall I tell you why I say it's not a problem? Yeah, because how do you identify the best rappers if you don't have the worst rappers?
But then, are you saying
like if everyone's just absolutely incredible at rapping, like what do we do?
But are you saying then that music's gonna get worse and worse and worse? What does that look like? I shouldn't
what
say
it
music,
looks like
that's a
to
very
me
big...
is you get a collective of. Do you know what I mean? I've seen it happen before. A wave of things are starting to sound the same, or things are starting to get a bit boring, or rare, and then something or someone
just goes,
comes through and changes that mode and shows everyone that
I agree with you.
We're not the old people that was going mad, because look, now this person's here and you like it and we like it. Do you get what I'm saying? So
100%.
After a while of, you know what I'm saying, you know how it goes, like these stations like who's hot for this year, and then no one else matters for that year, then there's another for the next year, and then within 4 years there's a sound change. Like it will keep happening. But I think that's what's gonna happen. Through all of that, someone will come through that will bridge it just all together for a bit, and then they'll get boring too, then we're on to the next one.
Well, this is it. This longevity of talent, as what's happening in the world now, like, you know, the whole onslaught of digital and how music is made, as it made people lazy, and as it allowed everyone to think that they can make music, because everyone can make music, right? And everybody wants the playlist, don't they? They want the playlist without thinking beyond, if something gets on a playlist, what is my release strategy? What is my career path? It's just this one moment. And I just think everything is fast. And I do miss the period of when there was a build-up and you actually spent time on your craft and you delivered quality music and you didn't care what man was doing out there and comparing yourself to them, but you'll come with something different. But like you said, everybody might start sounding the same, and then that one person will creep through
and it's not
with
always
something different.
It's not always someone new. For instance, an example for me, just in this past 3 months of whatever's been happening in my mad world, through everything that's come out, it was nice to see just Khaled's album overall. Yeah, there's some good songs on there. Yeah. But the way everyone was speaking about that Jay-Z verse was more than I've seen about anyone's song.
I got you.
Just the verse. That respected the old school checklist of what makes a good verse. Do you get what I'm saying? Just occasionally something comes through that restores some balance.
And it's moments like that really give me hope.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying?
I think there is, you know, there's so much going on that actually you can feel that it's a never ending. To me, social media is like, it's like the school playground. You can predict the next post. Yeah, it's like the school playground. We're just talking for talking's sake on social media. And I think if you spend lots of time in that playground, it can feel like the quality level has fallen.
Yeah.
But then that one verse comes through and that becomes a talk that everyone's speaking about. And you remember,
kind of like what I said earlier.
There is still that love for great quality.
And it will never go.
Skill. And I agree.
Craftsmanship.
Okay, so let's do this. And we're going to end with an impossible question, because impossible questions are always fun.
There's no such thing.
What's she going to ask?
What?
As an impossible question.
Yes, there is. Are you ready for it? I've got it right now. Are you ready?
Ladies first.
Okay.
I want you both to tell me a bar or a verse from an artist, not yourselves, that sums up the power of hip-hop.
I would say, why I'm picking this one is because I reckon that hip hop heads, rhymers, 15 years before it and 15 years after it will hold it in high regards for that is hip hop.
Okay.
No studio tricks, no auto-tune.
I'm excited. What is it? Tell us.
Jay-Z's Funk Master Flex, was it Hot 97, the freestyle?
I don't know it.
You don't see?
Oh,
It's mad.
no. Okay.
Maddest.
Master
Like
Flex.
word for word.
Do you remember what year it was?
The one where he says, see Jesus, see Judas, see Biggie, see Pat, you see Marcus,
Wow.
see Malcolm. Yeah, you see Biggie, see Pat, see success and its outcome. Success is like suicide. You succeed, prepared to be crucified. Yeah, that one. Go listen to that and
listen
you'll
to it.
learn something and say,
can you
yo,
email
guess
that to
what?
me,
I don't
please?
think I could just do
Press
that.
some button.
Okay.
Yeah, that, for me, that one.
That feels strong.
Yeah, you were
That
saying
is very
some
strong.
mad things
that
in that
feels
one.
strong.
You know?
That
Yeah.
feels strong. Cookie's
So
writing it down.
independent. I might buy
Cookie, you're not going to give us a verse?
Darling,
Huh?
I'm just, when you just, in the old days when you used to get rights, but I just can't think of anything. It's one of those ones, if she had hit me up before, like...
I started getting all deep and ethical, like, rise it, Swiss cry. Like, no,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Let's go.
No, that was a dope one. That was dope.
Yeah, that freestyle there, for me, like, when you have to stand there and rap in it. You ain't
Okay.
got no
So
Pro
whatever-
Tools,
whatever he
no
says-
logic, no none of that. Spit your bars now.
Say
Are your
word,
bars mad? The man said, be a mad things.
There you go. So
That is
whatever
the
he
one.
said, I'm that.
Huh?
Whatever
Oh,
he
man.
said, I'm that.
I'm that. Have you not got one?
No, I haven't got one.
Yeah, that's the hardest freestyle for me in the world.
I haven't got one.
In the world.
Mad. It's too mad.
Yeah, no, I haven't got one. Should we just go with Chip's answer?
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
It's winning. How you mean?
Okay, we're going with Chip's answer.
Yeah.
You know what's going to annoy me? I'm going to think of it later. I'm going to think, I should have said that verse. Well, there you go. The answer of the 3 songs between Chip, Cookie and I are actually just the same freestyle.
Yeah.
Grammy freestyle, Jay-Z,
Jay-Z.
Funk Flex.
Yeah, on Hot 97.
Okay.
On Hot 97.
Bars.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode of The Sounds of Black Britain. Next time, we are delving into the rise of jungle, garage, and grime. So get your gun fingers ready. The Sounds of Black Britain podcast is brought to you by the Black Curriculum and produced by Unedited. Presented by me, Julie Adenuga. Our executive producer is Andrew Spence. The series producer is Sifa Inchi. Our assistant producers are Akeem Moore-Nickel and Buki Fadipe. This episode was filmed by JJ Gemio. The series is written by Drew Christie. Our sound designer is Tony Onuchukwu.